Hey, it's Eric Rokeach, and I'm here with, I would say, a good friend of Dio's and someone who's helped him along the way, and he's also helped along the way too. And he gets to see a different side of Dio, and he gets to see more of the heart instead of maybe just a lot of the results that he gets clients. So he has a different insight on who Dio is as a person. So brought Mark on here to kind of get a little bit of that out of him and fill in some of the details that we haven't gotten yet. So Mark, appreciate you being here. First thing I want you to, I guess, share with all of us is just your background, who you are, and what you're up to.
Yeah, sure. So as you said, I'm Mark Stokes. I'm 21. I'm from Birmingham in the UK. Personal trainer. Been doing it for about 2.5, 3 years. So working with general clients, normal day-to-day people in a gym right now. Looking to progress to some online stuff and my bigger vision, I suppose, if you like. And yeah, got to know Dio over the past 12 months as a person and as a trainer. And hoping to kind of give a bit more of an insight to him right now.
Okay, interesting thing is you said you're 21. I know Dio's a little bit older. Different parts of your lives, there's an age difference. How have you guys connected, even though there's been kind of such an age difference?
Well, it's a good question. I mean, as you say, I think Dio's 41 now. So he's got double the life experience of myself. But I suppose I've learned a lot through him. I mean, we chat most days on Facebook. We kind of share messages and interact on stuff that he puts up and stuff that I put up. And, if ever I'm struggling with anything, I can kind of go to him and just say, hey, what do you think about this? Or this is what happened today. What would you suggest? That kind of thing. And I think he's experienced quite a lot of the stuff that I've experienced, like deep stuff that, perhaps when I'm struggling with personally, I know that he's been through this kind of stuff. And, he can pass on his experience. I mean, all he can do is pass on his experience, and I can use that in my own way. But he's always there to just to kind of either reinforce what I'm thinking or, kind of just share what he's been through himself.
Do you have maybe an example, something that you were having a tough time with, or something that he kind of used to help you through or maybe inspire you in a way?
Yeah, I mean, I think self-belief is, especially as trainers, people think that we are like these perfect people, that we've kind of got everything nailed on and, everything's cool with our lives and stuff. And that's not the case at all in most cases. So I think for me, coming from a place of not believing in myself enough to go and try and pass on my knowledge or my work to other people. Mm-hmm. And I know Dio's come from that place as well. And he's got this kind of desire to bring out the greatness in other people. But he wasn't confident in himself to be able to do that. And now he's gone through that journey to get to where he is now. And I think that's something that we had that was pretty similar.
And so you were kind of going through the same thing, like you're struggling with maybe some of those beliefs yourself?
I have done, yeah. I mean, I'm getting there now. But I have done in the past for sure. I mean, I went through a tricky kind of 12 months. And, I went through this with him. So as I say, we've corresponded quite a lot and it's just been good to have someone that knows where you are to kind of pull you through. And that's something that Dio does really well.
What kind of feelings, how did you feel when you were going through some of that stuff?
Well, it's tough. I mean, obviously you have some days where you're not sure what you're going to do or what way you're going to go with business or with training people and how you're going to go about doing things. And I think just to have him there to kind of reinforce and to say, you're on the right track, or if I'm not sure and I say, what should I do? He might give his opinion. And I suppose that's just good because, we all need to release stuff sometimes. And I think that's just good for him to be there as kind of he's a very good friend, but as a coach as well. And, I know for sure that if his clients are getting that as well, then, they're kind of in for a treat.
How has he been able to, you've touched on it briefly, how has he been able to inspire you? You've obviously kind of been through similar situations and things, but how has he been able to do that? Just to connect and inspire? Because, a lot of times you can have someone coach you and they can just tell you what to do and it's okay, but for some reason you connect with him really well. What has he done to inspire that and get that connection?
I think it's just because he's himself. He has this ability just to connect with people at a soul level. So he is just his authentic self and he puts out his messages and he just manages to connect with people in a certain way that you think, yeah, I feel like that. Or you kind of think, wow, he's going through this as well. I think, on his Facebook, for example, at most days he puts up images of himself and it's all easy to put kind of inspirational quotes or pictures, but these are of him, and they're things that he's thinking, and this stuff just gets people thinking about how that applies to their life, and their situation. And I think that's powerful because, as I say, it's all about connection. And if that's connecting with these people that are his clients, or people that he's aiming them at, I think personal training, it's a lot more. I think the industry and the public are kind of cutting in on now that it's a lot more than just training and nutrition. It's about the coaching aspects of things, and that's just him as a person.
And he's done that, and that's, you see that, and it's inspired you. So, he's helped you through some tougher situations. And I guess what type of like, if you can put a thought or words to this, what type of impact has he had on you and your life?
A huge impact, a daily impact, I'd say. He's like, I suppose he's like the brother that I didn't have, or I'm the brother that he didn't have, if you know what I mean. That's the kind of love that I've got for him. It's like, he's like virtual family now. I chat to him more than I chat to some of my family about some certain stuff. If we lived in the same town, he'd be the kind of person you'd meet up with regularly. You can share things with, and he's just got that. He puts you at ease, if you know what I mean. He's one of those people you're comfortable to talk to about deep stuff. He's got that ability to kind of, I wouldn't say pull you in, but he's just a loving person. So, it's just everything he does is through a place of love and wanting to give back to people and help them. And you just feel that.
Is that what makes him different from other trainers and other people, would you say?
Yeah, in a way.
Okay.
Because, as we said, I said before, most trainers, it's kind of, they focus on a couple of things, but they're not really interested in the rest of your life or your emotions, or, various different aspects of transformation, let's say. But Dio realizes that, say, body transformation is a side effect of what's going on inside. So it's an inside-out kind of approach. And, I've experienced it firsthand, the support that he gives that he doesn't have to give,
Has there ever been a time, I guess, when you're working with him, that you just maybe were just kind of at a complete loss? Like, you were just kind of like, you just didn't know what to do. You maybe just emotionally upset and you didn't know what to do. And Dio was there and he helped you. Was there any point at the time you've known him that you've had a situation like that?
Yeah, many situations like that. I mean, as I say, I went through 12 months. It was really tough for me. And he was kind of one of few people that was there no matter what. I've been through periods of kind of emotionally, I wouldn't say lashing out, but, attacking people's morals or their kind of ulterior motives, if you like. And although I've been through those kind of periods, Dio's just been there throughout. He's understood. He's come from a place of, but I've been vulnerable enough with him, and he's been vulnerable enough with me, and we have that kind of relationship now where anything goes. As I say, it's like a family kind of thing now.
It's hard to put this question, I guess, but you were going through that, right?
Mm-hmm.
What did he do to help you? I mean, because I'm just trying to get a sense of a feel, like what he did, because it's hard to explain. I know there's certain things maybe you don't want to share, but what was it that he did to just help? I'm digging here, but I want to get some details out of it.
That's cool. I mean, I'm happy to share anything, but
okay.
I think it's difficult to answer that question because there's so many different things that he has done. Whether it's just either being there, whether it's offering his advice if I've asked for it, but he knows when to give his opinion and when to let you find out for yourself. So obviously with coaching, it's a lot about kind of helping that person to uncover it for themselves, rather than just providing the answers. And I think that's one of the best things he's done. For me, from my personal experience, he kind of knows the difference, when to kind of say, this is what you need to do, or this is what you should do, rather than just letting me get on with it, and then knowing when to kind of step in, if you know what I mean.
So he's changed your life in a way.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. He's been one of those people that, as I said, have been there from the start, and not one that's drifted off or I've lost contact with or anything like that. He senses things that it's difficult to explain, but he senses things even via kind of the internet and posts I'm putting out or messages. He kind of reads between the lines and he just knows. He just knows stuff, and it's pretty. It's a unique thing, I think.
Where do you think you'd be, or who you'd be, if you never came across Dio?
It's a tough one.
What would your life be like?
I don't. It wouldn't be like it is now. I wouldn't have certain thoughts that I have now about what I can do and what I'm capable of. He says himself that it is his purpose in life to bring out the greatness in others, and he's certainly helped me find that in myself and allow me to begin to kind of push it on the world. And that's powerful in itself, because there's so many people in the world that they want more, but they're either scared to be themselves or scared to kind of reveal what they want to do or take action even. And I think that's been a big thing for me with correspondence with him. But it's a tough question.
Would you be where you are now if you never came across Dio?
I don't think. I mean, he was one of the people, so it's tough to say. But I don't think so. He's had a profound effect on me in a way that's tough to kind of put into words. But I certainly wouldn't have the mentality that I've got now, or the self-belief, or knowing where he's come from and what he's been about in the past to where he is now. The difference in who he is,
yeah.
I think, is inspiration for anyone to realise that they can do anything and be whoever they want to be.
Okay, so you're a young guy. There's about 20 years age difference. What if Dio's a good guy? What if he just all of a sudden brought you out of the UK over to the States just to hang out for a few weeks and give you a new experience on life, or do something like that for you? How would that make you feel if he did something like that?
Well, but I'll be obviously glad to hang out with him in person. But I think it'd be one of those situations where you kind of visit him family. Like I said before, he's like this extended family now, and I feel that comfortable with him that I could just completely be myself, do what I want to do. We've got that kind of relationship where we understand each other, we're on the same level. So we'd go out and do stuff that guys do, but we'd sit in and probably have conversations that putting the world to rights, or philosophical conversations, or conversations about what we both want to do with our lives in the future now. And I imagine it'd just be so relaxed and so kind of comfortable that that's what you want it to be like. I suppose that's the kind of coach that I know I'd want, and I know that many people are kind of looking for in a coach and in a trainer.
Okay, a few more questions for you. We kind of touched on it a few times in this, but you talked about his purpose to inspire and bring out the best in others. Tell me about what you've seen that do for other people, not just yourself.
Dio's he's one of these people that he brings people together and he makes them think. He makes them kind of connect, not just with others but with themselves. So through following his journey as a person, that I've kind of been following him, and obviously I've been following his stuff for a while, and I know him a bit better than a lot of people. But if I was just a kind of a random person, I see his stuff in town, or I see his stuff around, or I see clients or whatever, just following the stuff that he puts out, knowing that it comes from this place of kind of authenticity from within him, I think that's pretty powerful in itself. I mean, as I said, going back to the pictures he puts up all the time, he involves his clients. He connects them all. It's kind of like, I can imagine his clients when they're training together, it's like they're kind of their third place. It's like it's a family thing. It's not just, hey, how you doing, blah blah blah. It's kind of they all care about each other. It all comes from a place of love, and that's kind of very unique and very powerful, I think.
Now, his clients, friends, family may end up seeing this. Let's say his clients see this. or people who are even interested in working with Dio. They hear about what kind of guy he is, but they're on the fence. They're not sure maybe if he's the right person for them. So what would you want to say to maybe somebody who's a prospect, but is kind of like not sure if they should work with Dio? What would you want to say to them?
I'd say I think we've all had those kind of moments where we're a bit apprehensive. I think you just got to try. You know, people ask me, "What's this about? What's that about?" I say, "Well, give it a shot. What have you got to lose?" You know, I know that Dio isn't the kind of person who just wants to kind of take your money off you, or you know, he's from a place of if he can't help you, I know he can help them, but he would rather try to help them and not kind of he wants to help people, right? And he would be like he'd offer his help regardless, you know, and he'd say, "Hey, try it out. If it's not for you, that's fine. You know, I'll do what I can do to help you anyway." And I think I always say to people, you're not going to know unless you give it a shot, unless you kind of just give it a try. You know, some people aren't for others. You know, what works for one people might not work for someone else. You're not going to find out unless you step in and just give it a shot.
Right. And then last question I have, you guys have connected on a higher level. You know, there's an emotional connection between you and Dio. He's helped you quite a bit. Get through some very difficult situations. And let's say you met face to face, okay, and you knew it was going to be the last time that you could ever see him, be the last time that you could ever talk to him. You'd never hear from him again.
Yeah.
What would you want to tell him? You know, something that obviously made an impact, but what would you want to tell him if it was the last time you ever saw him?
I'd say thank you to start with. I'd tell him that I love him as a person. I love him as the man that he is. I love him for the person that he's helped me become. And I'd promise him that I would continue his legacy. I'd step up and help him push his vision and his purpose out there. Because I know that he's got so much to give that it'd be a complete waste, and it'd be a disservice if it wasn't shared with other people. And I'd say that I promise him that it wouldn't die, and I'd just thank him. I'd just tell him that I love him and I'd thank him.
Very cool. Well, Mark, I appreciate you taking the time to really, you know, kind of share some personal stuff and dive deep into, I guess, what type of person Dio really is. I really appreciate it and wish you the best of luck with everything in the future.
No worries. Thanks very much, man.